Hey, welcome to World Entertainment, and we have a massive update regarding James Gunn's Batman, the Brave and the Bold, because he has finally said they found a writer. Now, we know he's been writing it, supposedly, but then he kept dropping the hint that, oh, we got a writer, but he refused to say who it is. And if this person has been working on it since he's been saying that, then there's a good bloody reason he hasn't been saying who it is. Because what's confirmed, well, seemingly confirmed now to be the writer, brace yourselves, because the Brave and the Bold reportedly finds a writer in The Flash and Birds of Prey's Christina Hodson. Yeah, so things are just going to get worse at the DCU. And talk about failing upwards, because that's not the only movies she's written for the DCEU. Oh yes, let's have a look, shall we? So, by the way, this article does try and make it out like, hey, maybe she'll be a good fit, but yeah. So, pushed for updates on The Brave and the Bold, DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has repeatedly said that the script is being worked on. The Flash helmer Andy Muschietti remains attached to direct, and it sounds like he'll be reunited with writer Christina Hodson. She's no stranger to the DC universe after penning Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn and The Flash. Jeff Snyder was first to share the news, with Nexus Point News later confirmed this is unfortunately true. As the scooper implies, this news has received a mixed response on social media. Neither of Hodson's DCEU movies received the warmest of responses from fans, so her being tasked with rebooting Batman for the DCU is either very good or very bad news, depending on how much you enjoyed Birds of Prey and The Flash. Mixed response, I would say it's outright cringe-worthy. Like, people, I am sure, are just losing their minds. To say neither movie received the warmest of responses, they absolutely tanked at the box office and got slated. That's not the warmest, that's outright hatred of what they brought. So, I love this part though. Hodson did deliver a solid take on Michael Keating's Caped Crusader in the latter movie, and put a fun spin on Black Mask in Birds of Prey. She made Black Mask gay and an absolute moron, and no, she didn't deliver a solid take on Michael Keating's Caped Crusader. Michael Keating delivered the solid take on Batman, because he is the pinnacle of Batman. And even with him returning as Batman and how excited people got, it still didn't bring people into the audience to watch The Flash, so it still failed, even with Michael Keating as Batman in there. But even us die-hard Batman fans who were excited to at least see Michael Keaton back, even we were still asking the question when it dropped in the trailer of, why the hell did he say you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. That makes no sense. That was just a off-the-cuff remark he made towards the Joker to try and push him to do something. That's not a catchphrase. So, yeah, they're kind of pushing. And again, Black Mask was just an absolute joke in Birds of Prey. So, she's no stranger, by the way, this is where it gets worse. She's no stranger to Gotham City then, and Gunn is clearly a fan of the writer. Hodson also wrote Batgirl, which was deemed unreleasable by Warner Brothers Discovery and scrapped during shooting. That's right, this woman didn't just deliver the absolute failure of Birds of Prey and then followed it up with the absolute failure of The Flash. She wrote a movie that the studio deemed unreleasable and will do fundamental damage to the DC brand in Batgirl. Oh my god, and James Gunn has just tasked her with writing Batman for the DCU. So in 2023, the Superman helmer took to social media to write, Christina's script for The Flash is magnificent. The fact that the movie works so well is a testament to her wonderful writing as well as Andy's glorious directing. Talking about blowing smoke up asses. The Flash ended up receiving a 63% score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the critic score, by the way. Somehow the fan score is at 87%, which, yeah, there were some funny things going on there. And a lackluster B cinema score, meaning it ranks among the lowest rated DCEU movies in the latter category. While Gunn considered it a masterpiece, most fans ultimately didn't agree. Gunn didn't just think it was a masterpiece, he says it was the best superhero movie ever made. So last year, Gunn said that he likes where the Brave and the Bold script is, but cautioned that some things have changed and that plenty of things are in flux on what his situation is with his parentage and all of that stuff. Now, I don't know whether, when he was saying that, whether he was talking about if he's still the father of Damian Wayne, or whether he's talking about there's got to be massive changes to his own parents. So when he was pushed on that comment and asked if Damian is still in the movie, he replied, "I think you have to wait to see exactly what's happening. People can guess and maybe they'll be right about certain things. We'd have to screen test, we'd have to do the whole thing." He later said of casting the DCU's Bruce Wayne, before adding, "Okay, I see what you're doing, 1923, it's a really good TV show. Like, I can't believe how good that show was." That's regarding the guy from that, who, yeah, they might want to stay clear of at the moment because he seems to be involved with the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni crap, and they've just released everything that was being hidden basically by Blake Lively's side, and yeah, it's painting them all in a very bad picture, including Taylor Swift. Ooh boy. So he later noted, "One actor in particular, a pretty big star, wants to be Batman. We've talked about it, but I don't think that's the case." That was Alan Richardson they were talking about at that time. So the Brave and the Bold still doesn't have a confirmed release date. So overall, this is a disaster. The fact that you go to the person who wrote two movies that absolutely bombed at the box office and were outright rejected by audiences, and a third movie that was deemed so unreleasable and unwatchable that it would have damaged the DCU brand completely. And James Gunn has just gone, "She's the perfect choice to write Batman for me." Are you kidding me? Like, come on, dude, what are you doing? Surely people have to look. Maybe Warner Brothers at this stage should just step in and say, "James, you're not hiring her." And even if he's the case of, "But I'm the head of the DCU," it's like, yeah, we know that, but we're in this thing to make money. And she just did 3 movies that 2 we released and they bombed and cost us hundreds of millions, and the other one was so unreleasable that we scrapped it when it only had 2 weeks left to shoot. Like, you're not hiring her. Why is that not happening? It's insane that that is not happening. The fact that he's allowed to do this. And then you have Andy Muschietti, the guy who directed The Flash, still attached to make this. So basically, you're telling us Batman Brave and the Bold is just going to be The Flash 2.0, just minus The Flash in it. Like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? Really? The most important character you have is Batman, and you're going to give it the Flash treatment. Hey, we'll get the guy who directed The Flash and the dumb bitch who wrote the thing. Yeah, that'll inspire people to come running to the theaters to watch. You gotta be joking. So, Brave and the Bold, if you had any hope for it, you may as well flush it down the toilet right now, because that thing is 100% DOA. And this is just going to piss the fan base off something terrible. So, do let me know what you guys think of this news that Christina Hodson of The Flash, Birds of Prey, and Batgirl has been tasked with writing Batman for the DCU. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and hit that hype button, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.